Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to build a simple screen recorder in Python. So to get started, let's just jump into it. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is create a project directory or a project folder. We're going to keep all our code and contents and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a directory. I'm just going to use mkdir, and I'm going to go ahead and create a folder actually mkdir, and that's going to go ahead and create for me a folder. I'm going to call this folder screen underscore recorder. Okay, so I'm going to create a simple screen recorder in Python. So I'm going to call it screen recorder. So once I have that created, I'm going to change directory into my screen recorder folder. And once I'm inside of the that folder, I did an ls is equivalent on Windows is dir. Okay, so you can see that now we don't have no content inside of it. So we can see just an empty directory that we have created so far. So what I want to go ahead and do is to create a virtual environment because I don't want to keep my project dependencies within my global Python environment, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is create a virtual environment, and to do that, I'm just going to say Python 3 hyphen m vnv and then vnv and then press enter. So that's going to go ahead and create for us a virtual environment. If you're on Windows, you just have to say pi. Let me just repeat the command for guys who are on Windows. If you're on Windows, you have to say pi hyphen m vnv and then vnv. Okay, whereby vnv will be the name of your virtual environment. Again, this is going to work for guys who are on Windows, and this is going to work for guys who are on MacBook and on a Linux machine. So once you have that virtual environment created, what you need to go ahead and do is actually activate the virtual environment. So I'm going to simply say source vnv/bin/activate. Okay, so this command is only going to work for guys who are on MacBook and on Linux machine. For Windows, to activate the virtual environment, the command is a bit different, and I'll urge you to just take a look at how to activate a virtual environment, or just Google it. You find a command to do that. But yeah, this command is only going to work for Windows, for Mac and Linux users. If you're using a Windows machine, then the command is going to be a bit different. Okay, so I can't really remember the command to activate a virtual environment on Windows, so just do a quick Google search, and I'm sure you can easily find it. It's actually very similar to this, but just a bit of a difference. Okay, so once we have our virtual environment created, I'm going to go ahead and install our project dependencies. So I'm going to go ahead and install the following libraries. Again, before you install the libraries, make sure your virtual environment is activated. And if how do you know it's activated? You can see the name of the virtual environment within parentheses at the beginning of the line. So that shows that your virtual environment is activated. So once it's activated, you're going to install a couple of libraries. So I'm going to pip install, and I'm going to install Pillow. Okay, and the Pillow is the library we're going to be using for a screen recording. Okay, so we're also going to install pip. I'm going to say pip install. Let me just say open. This is going to be, let's install NumPy. So we're going to install NumPy as well. So pip install NumPy, which is going to help us to deal with images, because images in programming are basically just a collection of matrices, right? So I'm also going to go ahead and install. We're going to go ahead and install OpenCV as well. So I'm going to go ahead and simply say pip install. You can find all this online if you want to, but I'm just keeping things simple and just typing it out so that you can go fast. So we say contrib hyphen is going to be Python, just like that, and simply press enter. So this is going to go ahead and install OpenCV as well for us. Once we have OpenCV installed as well, we're going to go ahead and install one more library that you're going to be using to get the dimensions of the screen. So I'm going to say pip install screen info, just like that, and press enter. Okay, so let me just zoom out a bit to make so this you can see the whole commands. Okay, so these are all the commands that we use. We install pip, pillow, right? Pillow for image processing in Python. We installed NumPy for also help us do with image processing and matrices in Python. I also installed OpenCV for like computer vision, and also finally we installed screen info, which is going to help us to get information about the screen that you are recording on. Okay, so once we have that, then I'm going to go ahead and clear my terminal. I'm going to go ahead and open up my Visual Studio Code. So feel free to use any editor that you're comfortable using. I'm just going to go ahead and use VS Code for this. So once we have that, then I'm going to go ahead and create a file. And this file, I'm going to call it as, let's call it anything you want. I'm going to call mine screen capture. So I'm going to say screen capture, right? I hold the spelling of capture.py. So screen capture.py, and you're going to go ahead and begin to record our screen. So to do that, the first thing you need to go ahead and do is actually import OpenCV. So just import CV2, just like that. So once you have CV2 imported, I also want to import image grab from Pillow. So I'm going to say from Pill, which is the Pill library that you installed. You're going to go ahead and import image grab, just like that. So image grab. So once I have those two imported, I'm going to go ahead and simply begin to record. So I'm going to say while true. So while true is an infinite loop, right? So if you know the basics of OpenCV, I have a whole series on OpenCV. If you're also not familiar to infinite loops or how loops work in Python, I have a whole tutorial on loops in Python. You can check that out on the channel's main page. So once we have that done, I'm going to simply say image, and you're going to go ahead and grab the image that we want to. So to grab the image of the screen, you're going to say image grab, and then you're going to say dot grab. So image grab dot grab, just like that. You're going to go ahead and pass in the dimensions. You're going to say the bounding box of the area we want to grab. So basically, you're going to leave it to be 0 0 for the bounding box, because basically you want to grab everything, right, starting from the topmost right here. So you can grab 0 comma 0, right? So once we have that done, that's basically what you want to. Let me just say 0 0, which is gonna be starting from here, right? And we can go ahead and specify the width of the screen. Let me just say 124, okay, by 124, or let's say 128. Even 128 can work. Yeah, 128 comma 128. So this is not going to record the full screen, because this right now we're just guessing some values, but actually this 0 0 stands for the top right, the top left corner of the screen, because if you watch my videos on OpenCV, I explain how we start the coordinate system of the screen and computers work. We start counting from we start the basically the coordinate starts from the top left of the screen, which is 0 0. So this 0 0, it is the top left of the screen. You're going to record 120 on the high as the height, and 120 as the width of the screen. So 120, this is going to be the height, and this is going to be the width. Okay, starting from here, the height and then the width. Okay. So once we have that done, we're going to grab that image, and what you're going to go ahead and do, you're going to convert it into a NumPy array. So we're going to simply say, np underscore image is going to be equals to NumPy. You're going to import NumPy. So we're going to go ahead and simply say import NumPy as np. Okay. Okay. So once you have NumPy import, I'm going to simply say np dot we're going to say np.array. You're going to convert this image into a NumPy array. I told you NumPy is just a Python library for working with matrices in Python. So we're just going to convert this into a NumPy array, right? So once you have the NumPy array, what you're simply going to go ahead and do is simply show the image that you have grabbed. So we're going to simply do cv2.imshow, which is going to show the image. And you're going to give a name to the window on which the image will be shown. So we're going to say call this video capture. So once we have that done, just get this out of the way. So close this as well. So once we have the image captured, what you're going to go ahead and do is, let me just close the side panel. So once you have the image captured, you're going to go ahead and display the image. You're going to pass in the NumPy image that you want to display. So let me just say NumPy image. Okay, so you can go ahead and simply say np underscore image right here. So sorry for that, np underscore image. So once you have that done, you can even just write a command to quit the screen. So to write a command to quit the screen, to quit the window that is displaying the images, because you don't want to keep this window active forever. So we're going to write a command which will enable us to quit to close that window. So we're going to say cv2 dot wait key, and you're going to simply say wait key, and you're going to say wait key is going to be, let's say 20, passing 20 right here. Okay. So once we have that, we're going to simply say we're going to do an if condition, right? You can say if key equals to, we're going to say 27. So if key equals to 27, what we're going to do is simply break out of, we're going to simply break out of the infinite loop. So we're going to say break, just like that. So that's all we need to do. So this is going to help us to quit our screen. This is going to help us to grab the image of the screen. This is going to help us to convert it to a NumPy array, and then you're going to display the image right here, and this is going to enable us to quit. Okay, so once we have that done, let's go ahead and once we quit, what you want to do, you want to say cv2.destroy all windows, and then you're going to do basically cv2.destroy all windows, which is going to close all the windows that we have open. So good, that's what we want to do. So once I have that done, let me just go ahead and change the direction of this. So I have my code right here and the terminal right here. Okay, good. So I can just do ls, and I can see we have screen capture.py file right there. So I'm going to do Python 3 on, if you're on Windows, it's just going to be Py. If you're on Linux, it's also going to be if you're on Linux, it's Python 3. If you're on MacBook, it's also Python 3. If you're on Windows, it's going to be Py, right? And then the name of the file that you want to run, which is screen capture.py file, and we press enter. So now you can see it's capturing my screen right here. So if I go up here, you can see it's captured the screen, but it's very, very small, right? The dimensions are very, very small. So let's go ahead and actually change the dimensions a bit. So I'm going to press escape key on my keyboard, and you can see we quit out of that window. So let me just change this to bit. Let me change it to 1028 by 1028. So let me just run the code again. Now you're going to grab a huge section of the screen. So if I go ahead and this up, so you can see you can see it's recording the screen, right? So if I go hover on the side, you can see these things pop up, and it's recording all that information. So you can see it's recording all that information. So good, you have a basic screen recorder, but one thing you can notice is that the color is a bit off. So how can you solve that problem? So to solve that problem, let's go ahead and do a color conversion of the image that we captured, because right now you can see the Chrome icon is not doesn't have the right colors, right? So let's go ahead and actually fix that issue. So I'm just going to bring this window back and simply press escape, and it's going to quit out of it. So let's just go back to VS Code. And once I'm inside of my VS Code, what I would like to do is actually solve the error issues. So basically, if you watch my videos on OpenCV, you notice that one thing I mentioned in those videos is that um, OpenCV has uses the BGR to record screen, like the blue, the green, and then the red, right? We don't want the blue, the green, and then the red. What we want to do instead, we want the RGB, because the RGB is a standard primary color. So we want the red, the green, and the blue. So we want the color in that scheme. We want the color in the RGB scheme instead of the BGR scheme. So let's do that conversion, and let's see if you're going to get any change in the image. You're going to simply say CVT converted image, right? Converted image right here is going to be equals to, going to do a cv2 dot cvt color, right? And you're going to go ahead and pass in the dimensions. So you're going to simply say np underscore image comma, and you're going to pass in the color that you want to change. You want to change from cv2, you want to say cvd dot color, right? cv2 dot color. And what you want to do is say dot color, you're going to say bgr, which is the standard format that OpenCV use. So we want to change we want to change it from BGR to RGB, and you can see we have a suggestion right here, from BGR, the blue, the green, and the red scheme, to the RGB screen scheme, which is the standard scheme that all primary colors have, right? So basically change the part, because now we want to show the converted image, in which the colors are now corrected, right? So that's basically it. So now let's run it again, and let's see if you have any issue with the color anymore. So you can see now we are recording the screen right here. So if I hover on the side, you can see now the color issue has been fixed, right? So you can see right here the color issue has been fixed. So good. So I can see the color issue has been fixed, and we are good to go. So what you want to do right now, after the color issue has been fixed, is that what you can notice is that you're not recording the right size of the screen, right? You're recording, you're not recording all the whole screen. Basically we're recording only a section of the screen, and we're just guessing these values, because if I just, let me just quit out by pressing escape on the keyboard. So if I go back in here, you can see that we're just guessing the width and the height. This is not the width of the height. This is not the width and the height of my computer screen. So how do I get the actual width and height of the computer screen? Because you can play the guessing game and guess it all the way. Even if you guess it, even if you use OpenCV to guess the dimensions of the screen, what if you move to another computer, the dimensions of the screen might be different. So to get the screen information, there are a couple of libraries you can use. You can use Windows, I think it's called Win32, a library called Win32. But I'm going to be using a screen info that we just installed, using pip install screen info. So you have that library installed. So we're going to use that library to get the dimensions of our monitor, because I'm using this because I'm on a Linux machine, and if it's going to work for all operating system. I don't want to use Win32, which is just to interact with the window API, right? So I want to use something that can generalize across all operating systems. That's why we have installed the screen info. Okay, so I'm going to say from a screen info, I want to go ahead and import get monitors. Okay, so this is going to get us the monitor. So I'm going to say for monitor, let me just say for m in okay, for m in, just get the spelling right, for m in get monitors, I'm going to call that function. So for m in get monitors, so we're going to go ahead and just print m. Okay, so let's print m and let's see what we get. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the code again, and now good. So now you can see right here we have this part, this section right here. So you can see we have the height, the starting point, which is just the starting point, right? I told you about the 00 is just up here, right? And we have the width of the screen, the height of the screen, and this is going to be it's going to change from one screen to another screen. Okay, so you can get all that screen information right here. So once you have the dimensions of the screen, we can use this dimension of the screen to actually instruct image grab on which section of the screen to grab image from. So once you have that, I'm just going to press quit, and let's go back and use that information right there. So I'm going to just comment this out for now. So I'm going to say x, and x is going to be of type int. And if you know about type int, I have a whole series on type int on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. So I'm going to say m is going to be int. I'm going to say mx. I'm going to say m.x. We're going to say y. Also going to be of type int. It's going to be equals to m.y. You're going to get width of the screen. So width is going to be of type, again, integer, and it's going to be m.width, just like that. And you're going to also get the height of the screen. So height is going to be of type integer, and it's going to be m.height, just like that. So once I have the width, the height, the x, and the y, you're going to go ahead and use that instead of our bbox values. So instead of having these values that we manually type in, you're going to get the value depending on the screen of the computer, which is going to be different from one device to the other. So we're going to say width, and you're going to also say the height. right here. So good. So we're going to use the width and the height right here. So once we have access to width and the height information, let's actually make sure that you're actually grabbing the actual width and the height information that you want. So let's go back and run the code again, and let's see what we get. So now you can see I'm actually capturing my whole screen. So you can see I'm capturing the whole screen. Okay, so good. That's our screen recorder right there, and it's capturing the whole screen. And this is going to work for not just on my computer, any computer device is going to go ahead and grab the whole width of the computer screen, right? So good, the whole width and height combined. That basically it is. What once we have this done, what this thing going to do is we are recording the video, we're getting the full weight of the screen. Now the point of having a screen recorder is because you want to actually record your screen, so you want to save this instead of a file. So how do we go ahead and actually do that? So what we want to do, we want to create a captured video and store that captured video instead of a file. So let's go ahead and do that. So for us to be able to do that, we need to set up a couple of things. Before, we need to set up the video encoding to use. So let's just go up here, we can set it right up here, and let's say video encoding, just like that. So once we're going to, what we're going to say, I'm going to say for CCC is going to be equals to cv2 dot video writer for CCC. Again, and you're going to say you're going to store this video in an MP3 format. So you're going to say m, and then you're going to say mp, right? And then you're going to say mp4, actually not mp3, mp4, and you're going to finally pass another parameter which is going to be called v, so mp4. So good. So we're going to use the mp4 encoding to encode the video. So once we have this done, we're going to go ahead and set up the frame rate of the capture object and on other things that we need. So we're going to say captured video, just like that. It's going to be equals to, we're going to say cv2 dot video writer. So we're going to say dot video writer, and then we're going to go. So once we have that type out, now you need to go ahead and specify the file in which you want to store the video which has been recorded. So I'm going to say let's say recorded underscore video dot mp4, because you're saving the encode format you're using is an mp4, so the file is needs to be an mp4 file. And then you're going to go ahead and specify the encoding format you just defined, which is going to be for CCC. And then finally, to specify the frame rate, I'm going to use 30 for the 30.0 for the frame rate, and you're going to specify the height and the width of that video, which is going to be the height and the width of the screen, right? Because you're capturing the height and the width of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and pass in that right here. So pass in the height and the width of the screen. So we need to actually put this code. Actually, let's move this one up because you are getting the height and the width in the screen. You're going to try to use it at the bottom right here. So yeah, so that's basically it. So once we have that done, we can capture the screen. So let's actually go ahead and let's see how we can capture the screen. So once we have the video being recorded and shown, now we want to go ahead and save it into a file. So we're going to say captured video dot we're going to say captured dot write, and then finally we're going to go ahead and write the video content inside it, which is going to be our image, right? It's going to be cvt image right in here. Yeah, that's all we need to do. So that's basically it. So now let's go and actually try it out and make sure we don't have any errors in our code. So okay, we are good. We are recording the screen. So even if I minimize this right here, put it on the side, you can see if I go back to VS Code, let me just write some comment right here. Let's see if the screen will capture that. So we say this is coding with prints, just like that. And let's see. Okay, so let's go back here and let's exit that by hitting let's bring back the screen recorder and then press Q on our keyboard to quit out of it. So once we have that done, I'm just going to bring back my side panel so I can see we have the video in there. So let me actually open this video file. So it's going to be on my desktop, content, tutorials folder, and I'm going to go ahead and say screen recorder, and you can see the video right here. So if I open it to my video player, so you can see now you have captured the screen and recorded the screen, and you can see everything that you are doing during the screen recording has been successfully recorded. So yeah, that's basically it, how we can build a simple screen recorder with Python. So that's basically it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video so far, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Keep safe.